Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Hello farmers, welcome back to Ravenport. I figured out the chainsaw issue, as it seems like most of the issues right now with Farming Sim, if you're using a Logitech steering wheel, it causes a lot of problems. So right now my steering wheel is activated. I cannot rotate the chainsaw. If I would have to start the game over, make sure my steering wheel is turned off, then I can come in and I can rotate the chainsaw and use it that way. So that's why I did a test. I did cut down 3 trees up here, which is our plan to cut down some of these, well, most of these trees so we can make the field a lot bigger. And I'm loading branches up. But I also downloaded the mod Lift Anything mod, the heavy mod, only because little trees like this I would not be able to pick up. Or not little trees, little stumps like this, it would just say object too heavy. Even some of the branches, it was saying object too heavy. I'm like, And I didn't want to go through like I did in Pacific Northwest, to where I had to grab, get a log fork and load it that way, because that was a pain. I'm only going to use the Lift Heavy mod only to do the trees. I'm not going to do it to move pallets and stuff like that by hand, but the trees I will. So I have cut down, I thought it was 3 trees I cut down. One, yeah. So here's one tree I have cut up. This one as well. And you can see the stump that was here where this tree was. This tree here, I've made 2 trips. And what is in the back of the trailer right now. Each trip I was getting like 5 grand. So this one tree here, I'm probably going to get like 12, 13 grand for the wood from that one tree. Which is not bad. I did do the contract for field number 8. At the end of last episode, I took that. So I fertilized that, and I think I used probably close to like $3,000 worth of artificial fertilizer. But the contract was for $27,000, so it was well worth it. Another thing I learned by reading the discussion forums, I was trying to figure out the chainsaw issue. A lot of people were asking about the biogas plant. So like if we come in here, scroll down, where's the silage right here? So right now I can only sell silage at the barn. Some people were asking, well, I can't sell at the BGA, blah, blah, blah. You cannot do anything at the BGA until you buy the BGA. So if we click here, see how when I click on it right here, the BGA turns in with the land slot area? It's almost 400 grand, by the way. But yeah, you can't use the silage pits there. You can't sell there. Nothing. It's a little different than... See, when I click on this one here, for this land, the sawmill area does not turn with the rest of the land. You're not buying the sawmill. So I can deliver to the sawmill anytime. But when I click on here, the biogas plant turns this teal color, bluish color. You got to buy the biogas plant before you can sell there. So a lot of people were buying grass fields. They were, picking up grass and were trying to bring it to BGA. And of course, you can't tip on land you don't own. So people were trying to bring like, I can't use the BGA, can't use the BGA. And a lot of people said, yeah, you got to buy the land first. So, yeah, so there's that. Just a little tip for you. Kind of glad I saw that before I went ahead and did it. But, it is what it is. So if you've been watching my previous episodes, first of all, thank you. But also, I've kind of mentioned the troubles I've been having. First off, Windows had an update and it screwed up my G27 steering wheel. I kept getting driver errors, so I had to fix that. And then, of course, now with my steering wheel in Farm Sim 19, it's causing a lot of problems for people. I had to go back. There was a patch yesterday. As I'm recording this, my steering wheel is working fine on the original release patch. The 1.1 patch, I think it was. It was working fine, so they had a patch yesterday. It's supposed to make the steering wheel better. I'm like, oh, okay. And it'll fix a lot of other things. No, where are you going? Get back in there. Oh, let's let it drop. So I updated the game and got in the game, and it made my steering wheel 10 times worse. basically the steering wheel wouldn't go back to center. I thought it was something to do with the setting. I'm like, oh, Windows 10 updated again. Thank you very much. And then went out of game, found out it wasn't Windows 10. It was Farm Sim. I went in the discussion forum, and yeah, a lot of people are having that same issue. So I'm back on the original 1.1 patch that I'm using. But it gives me the problem where I can't rotate the chainsaw and all that stuff. And then I started recording this episode, and I was having problems. I noticed a couple issues before and other things I was doing on my PC. And my Razer mouse that I've used for like 4 years, the left mouse button is starting to act up on it. So I was trying to pick up logs, and I was carrying most of it, would just drop it. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. My original mouse is pretty much done. So I'm using a generic mouse right now, and it, when you get used to your mouse and you switch to one until my other Razer comes in. I just ordered that this morning, so hopefully it'll be here soon. I can't see where that was placed. I don't think it's even in the trailer. So I got to get used to this mouse for a few days, a day maybe, I don't know when. Just one thing after another. I'm getting camouflage in here. So this ought to be interesting going up to the sell point. Some may fall out on the way, which is fine, because I've only dropped one so far. But I got this one loaded up pretty good. Yeah, I was having problems with when I was cutting up the trees, and this was my steering wheel disengaged so I could use the chainsaw properly. It was hard to try to cut all the limbs off that you don't normally use. So like a 19, you would just, kind of like run down the tree and use the chainsaw, and it would cut the limbs off. Here, it was a hassle. And luckily I'm not going too far with this. But we'll sell this trailer full of wood. I should get, well, actually this trailer is pretty full, so I might get actually more than $5,000 for it. But I'm going to do the rest off cam in between this episode and the next. Now I think I got most of my issues straightened out today, hopefully. But we need to pick up the bales in that field that we just passed, as you saw. Get that replanted. But the money is slowly starting to come in again. Fertilizing that field was nice. I probably profited by... Yeah, that limb got caught. Looks like I may drag it all the way there. But yeah, I'm making a good profit on fertilizing that field. That helped, and I didn't know I was going to get... when you sell wood on a new game, you don't know... Well, it's true with any product. You don't know what you're going to get. Can I sell this from in here? If I hit the R key... No, I got to go to the... You got to go to the notice. 4,500 for that. So that's not bad. I thought I'd get more than that, but it's hard to tell with all the limbs and stuff sticking out. It looked like a bigger load than what it probably was. I also saw something on the sheep. The price of the wool, as we saw, is not as good as it was in 17. But I guess the sheep produce wool faster. It's just the issue of the amount. So you actually have to bring more pallets of wool to the dealership in order to make as much money as you would in one trailer in 17. If that makes sense. From my understanding, what people are saying, the sheep will produce money-wise the same amount as they did in 17. It's just that you got to bring more pallets to the store in that time frame to make up for that. So yeah, I remember I was watching one video, and he didn't look at the price. He brought it there, and he sold it. He goes, there, now we're gonna get lots of money. And I'll see looking at it, it's like, wait, was that right? I only got like $2,000 worth of wool. He looked at the price. He goes, yep, okay. Hey, we're all learning. The horses do seem like a good profit. I just know some people are not too happy that you got to ride the horse for 5 minutes every day to help bring up their quality. So after I get done recording this video, I'm going to finish picking up these trees here. I hope to have most of these trees cleared out after we harvest this field next time, so we can expand the field. And like I said, we're going to double the size of this field pretty easily, I would say. I mean, if we're going to come at least up to here, yeah, that's more than double the size of it. There's that. No, not that one. Here we go. This is the one we want. Does anyone remember where I parked? I think it's down here. And I was trying to figure out if this was a well or not, and apparently it is a well, and you don't get charged for taking water out of there, I think. But we don't have no animals that require water. Which is weird because in 17 I used a chicken mod, and those chickens took tons of water. Tons and tons of water. These chickens take nothing. And yes, my bucket's there because I cleaned it up and I went to dump it in there, and I couldn't dump it in there because their food trough is full. Not F1, I want to unfold. And now that I know you can only stack bales 3 high in here. Round and round we go. So I'm not going to try to get it too evenly, because for me to actually get 4 bales long in here, that'd be a chore for me. And what am I actually sticking on? Oh, I'm actually sticking on the trailer. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I should be parking this here, because when I go up and down this hill, yep, this keeps Alright, I need to move the trailer. Not a good spot for the trailer. It's nice and flat here, but the dip is just way too much. Oh, oh, there it is. Let's not get this stuck on the tree over there. This is probably not a great idea either, because it's uneven land, but I'm a daredevil. Yeah, so in order to make good money on silage now, it's not just buy a big field and bring it to the BGA. Now we got to spend $500,000 on buying the BGA. To buy a decent grass field, there's another $500,000. If you want the big M crone, there's $400,000. Yeah, it's going to be a couple $1,000,000 to probably get a good operation going for the BGA. And yeah, we're a little short of a couple $1,000,000. Just a little bit. So I think we're going to gradually build up this farm. To me, there's no rush. I'm pretty sure we'll be playing on this map for at least a month before some modded maps come out. Although there might be some reworks of 17 maps. I don't know. I don't know how hard it would be to transform a map from 17 to 19. But I would kind of like look forward towards a new map. I just saw before it reloaded the game that on the mod hub, under Baling technology, they got that Baling trailer, the black one, that you could put pallets and whatever on. I thought about getting it, but that means, you know, I've already paid for this one here. I would lose money selling this one, then I gotta buy the other one. Although it might be cheaper. So I'll have to download the mod from the mod hub next time I reload the game just to see what it sells for, because I don't remember. I want to say it was just 8,000, so actually that might be beneficial because I could sell this. Yeah, I'd lose money because we've only used it really once or twice to the sell point. So I think I paid like 28 grand for that trailer. Probably selling it, I'd probably get like 20,000 for it. Then if I bought the other one, I'd pay 8, so I would get like an extra 10,000 in the bank account, I suppose. But I'm hoping when the next episode comes, I'm going to do some work in between. I know I keep saying that, but with all the issues I've been having, my plans haven't gone according to plan. We'll have enough money to buy probably maybe those 2 fields up by the animal dealership. And we'll convert those over to 1 field. It also tempts me, if I'm going to spend that much money, I can maybe, instead of buying 2 fields, maybe wait a little longer and buy a bigger field? I don't know. But what I'm saying is hopefully the next episode we'll have enough cash to make ourselves go broke. But we'll have another field. And we'll kind of get out of this little tripod area. But also, when we expand that field over there, you know, like I said, double the size of that. That just means more cash. We do have probably $35,000 sitting inside the silo between the canola and soybeans. How I missed the auto loader. Although I don't mind doing this. Loading them manually. Although trying to get used to this generic mouse I got going here. One of those $5 Walmart specials. So it's always good to have a spare mouse hanging around. Just getting used to the sensitivity of it. It does not fit my hand that good like the razor does. I need to check this field to see if it needs anything. I don't think it does, but like always, you know, replant it as soon as possible so we can get some turnaround. Like I said, this is going to be our chicken wheat field. I want to make sure I keep plenty in stock because the chickens are reproducing, and the more chickens we get, the more food they're going to require. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bales we got out of the field this time. And you know what? Since it's right here, we're not that far. We will close that up Hopefully it won't jiggle and do whatever. There we go. Looks like the Massey will do it just fine on narrow tires. Kind of glad the sell point's not too far for us. But yeah, when I started this this Let's Play, I was hoping that when I got on the map, that oh yeah, we can start the farm anywhere, which you can. But the problem is, all the relatively flat areas are the big fields, which you can't afford. I mean, you probably could afford in the beginning, but you wouldn't be able to afford much else. So yeah, I'm pretty much starting where everyone else does. But it's good that the sell point's not too far here. I wonder what those water things are for. Is it just going to sell, or do I have to... Now, this trigger point is a little weird. Alright, how about if I unfold it? Does that help? Alright, maybe that does help. I don't know. So... So the good news is, at the end of last episode, sort of, we were like, what, $100 in the hole. Then we fertilized, got some cash for doing some jobs, went to the store, bought fertilizer, was right around zero. We're up to 50 grand now. But yes, we do have a loan. And I'm not going to bother I'm not going to repay it until almost midnight. That way I don't have to pay that much in interest if I got money. But for the time being, we'll just leave it there in case I do get enough money to buy the land that we need. Let's go park this back up. We'll get the Massey Ferguson seeding some. I think this time we'll plant barley. We've been doing wheat. Put some barley in the field. Chickens will take barley as well. I don't know how much seed the seed roll has left in it. And the wheels turned on me again. Ooh, little hookup. That should be more than enough to do this field. Let's switch that to barley. Let me just get out here for a second. Doesn't need line, doesn't need plowing. That's the other thing some people are saying. You notice when I'm in cab how much quieter it is? Some people are saying it's too quiet when you're in the cab, rather than when you're out of the cab. There, he's off and running. So we'll let them do what they have to do. We're going to come in here and see what we got. Fertilizing. Field 11, fertilizing 13. A lot of fertilizing jobs that I think I'm going to be doing because I got fertilizer. 10, 11, 13. So here's 10, 11, and 13. It won't take me too long to do those. So I think I'll be doing that probably off camera, along as well as picking up the trees and selling those. But I do believe that is going to do it for this episode, actually. Because there will be a second one again today. Second episode. So hopefully when you see the second episode, you can see we'll just at 48 grand. Hopefully when we come back, we'll have much more than that. But that's going to do it for today in this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching as always. And I'll see you next time in Ravenport. But until then, have a good one.